Hi, and welcome to our channel, the Caregivers for Seniors, or the seniors who are aging now and into the next decade. I have with me our co-host, beautiful co-host, Dorothea Harris. Welcome, welcome. We are actually going to touch on the demographic of who is the aging population that we are focusing on today, and what does it look like. And Dorothy, welcome to the channel.
Absolutely. I am glad to be here, and I'm excited about the work that we're going to be doing together, Anna, and how we are going to put some things out there that I think families really want to hear, and just kind of dive in and work through the changing demographics and the aging population, caregiving. We have so much to share. Anna and I have had many years of experience working with families, and I know for sure I've kind of grown older with them. And
Yes,
so
yes,
I'm ready to share too. I think
yes,
that
yes, yes,
people learn and grow as we're authentic and open and share our experiences. So let's have at it.
yes. And we talk about the aging population, who are now going to be the largest cohort in the US. The US specifically, because we have the 65 years and older, or the baby boomers, that are going to be the largest cohort. And in the baby boomer cohort, or the age demographics, these are the ones that were born between 1946 and 1964. And since 2000, we've actually had 10,000 people turn 65 as of 2000. And now they have the largest group, more so than any infant, younger children, younger adults, or middle age. This group is now moving forward, or they are actually going to age and carry the largest group through the next 20 or 30 years. And we bring this, we focus on this group because they will need the care, or we have looked at them and seen that, worked with a lot of aging population, people that are in this group, because they actually will need some support at some point in their lives. And even as we look at the 65 and older, there's 55 million of them in the US today. And of that 55 million, you're looking at about that number doubling by 2030, with 88 million over the age of 65. And a lot of them are living longer, not only because of modern technology, but also because of modern medicine. And with this, the longevity comes the ability to live into the 80s and 90s and even 100. We have centenarians that are now living to about 100. And as we all know, that someone or somewhere is caring for someone out there. There's that's what we want to be able to bring up. And specifically in the US today, with that 55 million, 59% of these are white, they are white, Caucasian, older adults. Next in line to this is the Hispanic or the Latino, who are about 18% of that group. And then we have the African Americans, who is about 12% of that group, who are now aging. And we have the Asians, who are about 5 to 8%. And also the Native Americans and Native Hawaiians, or Native Indians and Native Hawaiians, who make up about 1%, under 1% for this each, specifically. So if we are going to look at this group here, we also have to, what their experiences are. That's what we want to explore in this video, specifically with ethnic minorities. We talk about the African American, the Asian experience, the Native American experience, and also the Latino or Hispanic experience of aging in America or the US. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. And I just have to say, you know, the numbers are the numbers. However, we know that in the next, 30, 40 years, there are going to be more people of color living here in the United States than there are our white counterparts. And so this is the right time to be talking about who's caring for who, you know?
Yes.
So I think I'll just jump in and just kind of share my story and where I feel the African American elder population is at. I spent many years, at least between 8 to 10 years, caring for my grandmother. And she lived with me until she expired at the age of 98. And as she was aging, I would say maybe about 70 or so, she was prepared. She had prepared herself to go to assistant living, and she had lived alone. She had been divorced for many years, and just, one of those older women that was very bright and smart and, was wise enough to save and wanted to continue to live alone. However, when we looked at assistant living, very, very, very costly. I mean, her money would not have taken her as long as she wanted to go. And then the ironic part was there were African Americans that would come in and care for her. And that is a population that cares for their own at home. And so they would say to me, Dorothea, why do you have your grandmother here? You should be caring for her at home. And, I didn't go into, what I mean, this is where she wanted to live and I'm working and, just, you know, this is just how it happened. And they said, well, if you want to take her home, we'll come to your home. They said, we will come to your home and care for her. And so, after a few bizarre things started taking place, they, didn't get her medication right and forgot to give her medication, and she had fallen, and just all these things taking place in this assistant living. I thought, I better bring my granny home so I can make sure that she's safe and cared for. So I did. And we weren't prepared for her. We had a two-story home, and by that time she was already in a wheelchair. And so thank God I married a journeyman carpenter, and so we built her a place onto our home that she could live with us and be cared for and be around family. And I mean, she just thrived doing that. And I thought, this is the way it's supposed to be. And not only that is I was able to share with my community and just my just Black families how to do this. Because don't we all want to be home and care for our loved ones? And isn't that the way we want to be treated? So I had a chance to show them how to do this. And it certainly was challenging to navigate the waters of this whole thing, but it was so worth it and it was so fulfilling. And so I think that is what I initially want to share is that we can do this. We can do it, and it's such a honoring and respectful way to give back to our loved ones.
And I think you bring up a very important point, or what it's like for cultures, different cultures that are here in the US, ethnic
Yeah.
minority groups that want to be able to care for their loved ones. For us, the responsibility of having to care for our aging parents or grandparents, something called filial piety.
Mhm.
We are responsible for them at home or care for them in their later years, because it is an honor to care for our aging parent. But the world that we're raised in, we all live in the US now, and in any other part of a developed country, we actually don't have that opportunity to care for them and also be at work, because we have to be able to pay the bills and keep the lights on. And we rely on services or support that are outside the home. And a lot of this comes into that, who is going to support our parents if we aren't able to do that. And that's where the professional caregiver comes in, or the paid caregiver. And we talk about the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare, CMS. That's the largest, that's the government agency that actually puts out home care workers. Under the CMS, we actually have in-home supportive services that are provided by the state, or run by the state for different counties and different cities, to provide this home care, or
Yes.
the caregivers come in to support our loved ones at home. And we are going to have to rely on that, because no one can certainly pay for the average price for caring right now is about $52,000 per year. Can we fork out an average? That's an average cost of having to provide home care to an individual and support them, maybe from 20 to 30 hours, not even the 24-hour care. It
Yeah.
starts at $52,000, and it's already shown that where do we find these older adults aging? They can be in the long-term services, units, or the wings in the skilled rehab facilities, or they could be in assisted livings with those beautiful, facilities with all the amenities that you ever want, or they could be at home. And it has been, research has shown that it's a lot more affordable to do home care. But if the children are working, who is it that is going to come in? And more often, it is a caregiver who is either certified or has homemaker skills to come in and do something called custodial care, which is basically supporting the older adult with what they're going to do in the home, and keeping them a certain quality of life, upholding that through the course of the phase of this aging, and so how do we support them? That would be probably something to delve into and to talk about, with our aging population, because we certainly have to come up with a solution to support them. And our segment here, talks about what is it like to have culturally responsive tools, strategies to approach different groups, ethnic groups that will age now in the US.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, one of the things that we want to focus on as well is how to get a family and community and others involved. As you said, Anna, we can only afford to have so much care, right? And so, how do we offset that a bit by working with family to come in and share the load a little bit. I always say that it's unbelievable how a woman could take care of 5 kids, and when it's her turn to be cared for, 5 kids can't get organized enough to take care of one woman. And so, because life has gotten so complicated, that's one of the things that you and I focus on, Anna, is to how to work with families to be able to, delve off, a few things to one and a few things to the other. So, the primary caregiver is not overwhelmed or burnt out. There is a way that we can work together as well as have paid care. So it's going to take all of the above.
Yes.
To do this, but it just it takes a plan.
Yes,
A
it
plan
does.
of action. Yeah.
Yes. And I think more often we're not proactive. We're always reactive. I think that's the word.
That's
Grandma
good.
has fallen, or my mom has fallen, and we have to step in.
Yes.
There's always, we have different family members, and not everyone is prepared for this, and no one's prepared to take over the role of caring. Or if there is someone, the rest of them may or may not be in agreement, and every family is different. And I think That's that part of the dysfunctional, that's called
Right, that's the word we were just talking about. We all have dysfunctional families.
yeah,
And not just that, is that, we have so many family members that are not healthy enough to care for someone else. And so it appears that someone else is having to take the load.
yes,
I know that our loved ones love to see everyone involved in some kind of way. If it's
yes.
just, visits or, going to the grocery store. I mean, there is a way that everyone can be helpful.
Yes, I'm just reminded of the phase that it is we're so busy, but we have to take time out of our busy lives
Yeah,
just to be able to do the things that are important to us, and not only to us, but to our loved ones
yeah,
and to the family members that we care for, or even if we go into the friends' homes, a lot of
yeah.
this care is either done by family or something that we
Mhm.
call fictitious kin, fic kin,
Yeah, yeah.
on the different demographics, the different groups out there. We
Mhm.
actually do pick up some of the responsibilities, or we have these families pick up the responsibilities. How do we
Yeah.
do this in a way that
Mm.
would be so much more culturally responsive, and
Yeah, yeah,
also so much offers so much quality of life, a
yeah.
certain quality of life that makes it so positive for both.
Mhm.
Uh,
I like to think that that we're paying forward. Anytime you're doing something to help someone else, you're paying forward, because if you keep on living, you're going to need to have a caregiver. You're going to need to have some support and some services as well. So this is just a circle of care and a circle of love, and we have to do it more seamlessly.
yes,
Um,
yes.
as you said, we're all busy, okay? But we're all going to need to have some kind of care. So we need to get with the program, right?
Yes, I think we do. And I think it's important that we do that, especially for this aging population,
For
and
sure.
and also for ourselves too. What does it look
Yeah.
like? What is it going to look like? We're not too far behind to be able to achieve or have that certain quality of life that makes living so much more. I
Mhm.
don't know what the word is. It just makes living so
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And so
yeah,
fulfilling. I mean, that's possible. That's
yeah,
possible.
yes,
Yeah. And so I like that word, proactive and
yes,
intentional and
yes,
purposeful, because
yes,
it's just inevitable,
yeah,
as we
yeah,
continue to age.
yes. So hopefully you can stay tuned to our next broadcast, and we will have this on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific and at 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 noon on the East Coast. So looking forward to sharing more information on the families themselves, and also
Yeah.
the caregivers that come in, and how we're going to meet this demand for care, not only now, but into the next 10, 20, 30 years, when
Mhm.
we actually all have to step into the role of caregiving at some point.
Yeah. And it's going to be beautiful, because we're going to be able to interact and communicate, and we can all work it out together.
Yes. Thank you. And we
Yeah.
will see you in the next episode of Caregiving Now and into the next decade, the family caregivers and the paid professional caregivers.